All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. And we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. or until they run out. And also our sponsors this week, Sharp Corner Sporting Goods, sports cards and collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California. Give Anthony Catania a call. He's at 831-521-5264. We're also brought to you by valleyhillroofing.net. They're at 209-481-6851. Both websites are linked in the description. All right, let's talk a little bit about Super Bowl 58 and just watching the film again. And I thought Baldy had just a phenomenal breakdown. Basically came to the exact same conclusion that, while it was a frustrating game, it's like, where did the Chiefs have a real advantage on the Niners, and exactly how did they, shut down this offense that has, so many weapons seemingly. And Baldy's conclusion was the exact same one that I came to when I watched the film, which was that cornerback tandem of L'Jarius Sneed, who just was smothering all day on Brandon Ayuk. And then Trent McDuffie, the former UW Husky, was a first-round draft choice. He's a small guy, 5'10", 193 pounds, but he just was in Debo's hip pocket, and they couldn't gain any separation. Debo couldn't get away from McDuffie. Ayuk couldn't break free from Sneed. And, Sneed's a 6 feet, 192-pound corner out of Louisiana Tech. Long arms, very strong, dominant physical athlete. He's 27 at this point. He's in the prime of his career. McDuffie's a little younger, but he's even more of a blue chipper. He was a first-round pick, and he just has exceptional movement ability. And that lockdown cornerback duo of Sneed and McDuffie against Ayuk and Debo was the difference in the game. And if you go back and you look at the 49ers and all their great Super Bowl teams, 81, who was on the corner? Ronnie Lott, Eric Wright. I mean, phenomenal shutdown corners, amazing players. 84, the 84 Super Bowl, go ask Dan Marino about Eric Wright. Eric Wright was huge in that game. Eric Wright was a dominating 6'1", 195-pound corner out of Missouri who was just long arms, physically dominant, very fast, very athletic, smothering kind of a player. He was as good an athlete at the cornerback position as there was in the NFL. He was a true number one corner. So the Niners had a number one corner in 81. They had a number one corner again in Eric Wright in 84. In 88 and 89, they won back-to-back titles. They had Tim McKyer and Don Griffin. And those guys didn't have elite speed, but they were great man-to-man cover corners. I mean, a great tandem, very, very solid. And Niners rode them to 2 Super Bowls, McKyer and Griffin. Then you go back to 94, the last time the Niners actually got it done on Super Bowl Sunday. They had Deion Sanders and Eric Davis. I mean, true number one type corners. I mean, Deion a number one. Griffin was probably a number one. Wright was definitely a number one. They don't have that right now. I mean, Mooney's solid and Lenore solid, but the 49ers could use a really dominant corner that could take away the opposition's players. But, here's Baldy. Watch Baldy on the breakdown, and we'll talk more about it next. Here's Baldy.
Matchups in this game was the Kansas City corners, Trent McDuffie up there on Debo, and down here, L'Jarius Sneed on Brandon Ayuk. I mean, all over the field, very first play of the game, he was in his shadow. Everywhere he went. Not all game. Like you watch him up here, and there's Ayuk. All right, they're going to be in man-to-man coverage as Conley comes across, and here he goes. Like, he just can't wait to get his hands on guys. All right, just shadowed him. Had 3 catches, 49 yards. You watch him right here in zone coverage. They ran this play right after the interception. The exact same route and the exact same coverage. Now, Sneed recognizes the ball's being thrown. He comes and makes the hit on Ray McCloud. Like, his ability, you watch this right here. Debo in motion. Watch what he does to Ayuk right here. Kind of hard to throw it to Ayuk right there. And then when they go down the field, there's McDuffie making a perfect play in the end zone. Like, these corners are lockdown corners. Like, you watch him right here, and you go, even when he was on Debo, he can't wait to get his gloves on him. He gets his gloves on you, and he's just going to stone you at the line. Bam. Punch that ball out. L'Jarius Sneed is so valuable to everything that they do. Even when he's in zone coverage, he still is on Ayuk, and they double him, and they take him away. Like, this ability to be able to lock guys up like this. Like, just shadow him. It doesn't matter how long you got to do it for, right here. Like, bam, get your gloves on him. And then when he tries to come out of it, all right, the ball's deflected. Like, this is not an easy assignment. There's no help. There's no safety net. There's no fear. You got Ayuk all over the field. Make him go someplace else. Like, here he is, inside out in overtime right here. Run him right to the sideline. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, that's the best tandem of corners in the NFL. This is the first play of the second quarter. It's 3rd and 14. Debo goes in motion, all right? And running with him is going to be Trent McDuffie. But inside is the shadow. L'Jarius Sneed is on Ayuk. Like, he puts his gloves on him right here. And this is what he did to him. He made him eat that logo right there. So he's out of the equation. Now Brock Purdy's got one more guy to go to, and that's to Debo. But here's McDuffie. Like, these corners are as good as any corner duo in this league. Here's McDuffie. Gets back, his eyes back on the ball. Bam. Ball's perfectly thrown. It's a touchdown throw. Like, LJ against Ayuk, McDuffie against Debo. They were just better. They were just better in this game than San Francisco's receivers.
All right, there you have the Baldy breakdown on the 49ers and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 58. I agree with him. L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. I mean, those two guys were just so dominating. McDuffie is smothering. He's fast. He's quick. He's strong. Sneed has got great length, and he can jam you up at the line of scrimmage. He's got long arms to contend with the ball down the field. I mean, that dominant cover corner duo really was the difference in the game. They took away Ayuk. They took away Debo. If you can take away Debo and Ayuk, man, you really take away a lot from the 49ers, and Kansas City did. So give Spagnuolo some credit for the X's and O's, but you really got to give the chief personnel department credit, because they saw the vision of Trent McDuffie in the first round. A lot of people would look at a 5'10" corner from the Pac-12 and say, first round, I don't know. They saw how special he was. And then Sneed, I think, was like a 4th-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, and just another great selection by Brett Veach. So great cornerback duo. Baldy's totally spot on. And if you're the 49ers, if you could find one real, true number one corner, I mean, they could go sign Sneed in the offseason. He's a free agent. But if they could find one true number one type corner to put opposite Mooney Ward, the 49ers, would be a much more difficult team to deal with. That's just, on their shopping list of needs. Obviously, they need an offensive tackle. Obviously, they need defensive line help. With Greenlaw out for the year, they probably could use another linebacker. They could probably use a safety with Afonga's physical status in question. But a true number one corner would be really nice as well. And that's what you're seeing the top teams have. I mean, that's what, you look at the difference last week against Detroit in the corners that they had compared to what the Niners stepped up and played against this week in the Super Bowl with Sneed and McDuffie. Totally different level than what the Lions had in the NFC Championship game, and it made all the difference in the world. All right, thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to everybody for sponsoring or for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.